The Language Center of Universitas Negeri Medan, or UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan, has been moving forward to becoming an excellent and professional language service provider in Medan, North Sumatra, Indonesia. UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan conducts its administrative work hybrid. It offers the language services both online and offline. The office is located on the third floor of the former library building across the administrative center building of Universitas Negeri Medan. Physical activities are not possible, the office can be contacted at 0813-6263-6057 during office hours and can be visited at the website address at pusatbahasa.unimed.ac.id and the official .opt Bahasa Unimed social media account. Under the Academic Affairs Office of the University, UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan is managed with entrepreneurial spirit to serve the language needs of students, clients, and members of the university community nationally and internationally to support Universitas Negeri Medan as a world-class university in 2025. UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan maintains its high-quality services in the areas of language test, language learning, and translation services by expanding its networks with national and international institutions. The Language Center advances knowledge of language learning and teaching through research and scholarly activities and support the university in conducting language studies, teaching, research, and community services towards a world-class university in 2025. The Language Center provides 3 language services constituting language testing, training, and translation, specializing in English, German, French, and Indonesian language services. Aside from these language services, the Center has established strategic partnership to administer several international tests of English language competencies such as TOEIC, TOEFL ITP, and IELTS tests, collaborating with global educational organizations whose English language competencies certifications are recognized worldwide. These organizations include International Testing Center, Indonesian International Education Foundation, and the British Council Indonesia Foundation. The successful collaborations have made it possible for UPT Bahasa to advance knowledge of language learnings and teaching through research and scholarly activity in national and international scale. In addition to language testing, UPT Bahasa runs language training programs to prepare test takers prior to taking their preferred test. Translation service concludes all of the services offered by the UPT Bahasa Unimed. The service includes proofreading, editing and translating journals articles, academic certificates and transcripts, and other documents. Here's about the improvement of English language competencies of academics to have better quality and competitiveness in facing global challenges. UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan helps the university opening the horizon globally in order to become an inspiration for others in contributing not only to the university but also to the society. UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan bridges the aspiration of Universitas Negeri Medan to become world-class university in 2025 and open the access for all academics to be successful internationally.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera Bapak Ibu peserta IELTS on Computer Info Session. Good morning. Good morning all.
Morning.
Morning, sir. Yeah, good morning respected participants. I would like to thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. And we are also so pleased to be able to welcome those of you who have been with us for years, as well as those of you who are new to our language center, UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan. But first of all, allow me to send my heartfelt thanks to some fella like Ibu Farida, the Senior Examination Business Development Manager. Thank you, Bu, for joining us this morning. I could also find Bapak Jackson here, the English teacher of SMA Negeri 1 Padang Sidimpuan, and who have successfully led US English Fellow Program at SMA Negeri 1 twice in a row. Welcome, Pak, to this webinar or info session. And then I believe Ibu Nora said he is about to join us today soon, the head of English Education Study Program, and eventually all respected participants, also not to mention Pak Arya. Thank you, the Assistant Exam Marketing Manager, who will soon share the general information with all participants about the features, display, and of course, the general tips of IELTS on computers. Bapak Ibu, here today we are so glad to announce you with our latest English language test service, IELTS on computer at UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan. As we know, IELTS is accepted by more than 11 something thousand employers, universities, schools, and immigration bodies around the world. We do hope that we could deliver to you maximally IELTS on computer at our language center, UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan, to be able to bridging you in achieving your dream to either studying overseas or working worldwide. And finally, Bapak Ibu, on behalf of the Principal of Universitas Negeri Medan, Bapak Rektor, Bapak Ibu Wakil Rektor, Bapak Ketua Senat, and all the leaders board, I would like to again sending huge appreciation to British Council Indonesia for the trust and the full support to the development of UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan. Bapak Ibu, all respected participants, adik-adik, mungkin sebagian ada yang mahasiswa, May you enjoy today's session and get beneficial information. And surely we look forward to serving you best IELTS on computer test at our language center. And now I think we just go straight to the main menu of today's info session, and I think we shall get down directly to our main agenda, which is I would like to invite Bapak Arya. Please join me, Bapak Ibu, to welcome Bapak Arya. Pak Arya, am I audible?
Yes, Ibu.
Bapak,
Apologize. I think there's an issue with my internet connection. Hopefully, thank you. Okay. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Arya Buditama. I am the Assistant Examinations Marketing Manager for the British Council Indonesia Foundation. And welcome to the info session webinar this morning. I hope you are doing well and healthy, especially in this current condition. I just want to ask to you, everyone, please share me in the chat box. Do you prefer to do the webinar in English or in Bahasa Indonesia? Feel free to click or put your answer in the box.
Yeah. Or to respond in our chat box, you mean?
Yes.
So you prefer bahasa or English, Bapak Ibu? Adik-adik? Mix.
Mix. Okay, sure thing then. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. So everyone can see my screen now. Is it clear? Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay, thank you. So let's start then. So this morning session is about the IELTS on computer. So how many of you have heard about IELTS before? Please type Y or Y if you have heard about IELTS before, and M if you never heard about IELTS before. Okay, Natasha said yes, yes. Okay. So my second question would be, how many of you have
Pak Arya, I think Pak Arya has just faced a technical issue. Pak Zulkarnain? Oh, now Pak Arya is coming back to us. Alhamdulillah. Pak Arya?
Yes, apologize. I think I have an unstable internet connection here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. My second question would be, how many of you have heard about IELTS on computer? Please type Y if you have heard about it before. Because actually, we've been previously running IELTS on computer in Medan, but working with another institution like around 2 or 3 years ago before the pandemic. And now we are gladly announced that we are working together with the UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Medan in delivering the IELTS on computer. Okay, so let's start then. Okay, if you have any question, please just directly type it in the chat box. I will try to answer if it's the question is quite simple, but we can save it later for the Q&A if it's needs more explanation. Okay, feel free to prepare your pen and paper to take notes, and I'm sure that this session is being recorded. Maybe Unimed, Wesley and team can help to share the link to the participants later if they want to rewatch again.
Sure, Pak.
Okay, let's start with the basic information. What is IELTS? So IELTS is International English/Language Testing System. Basically, it's being launched since the 80s, on the 89, actually 1989, exactly. And proudly co-owned by 3 institutions, which are British Council, IDP, and Cambridge Assessment English. Okay, IELTS itself, it's designed to assess the English language ability of people that are planning to work, study, or live where English is the language of communication. So, for example, if you're planning to study in a university that are delivering the studying in English, so there's a very big possibility that you will need IELTS to be able to join that institution. Okay, and also it also applies for immigration and also for working in an institution that are using English as their main language for communication. Okay, so IELTS has global recognition, especially by these 5 countries, which are UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and USA. And especially for UK, because all of the institutions accepted IELTS as part of the mandatory requirement when you are applying to the university. IELTS is testing for skill tests, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And it's using international English because basically IELTS is a global test. It's not the UK test, and that means you can either answer the questions in British English or American English. And something new is about the video call speaking test. Previously, like last year, we are still delivering the speaking test in a face-to-face with an examiner. But since the pandemic, we are changing, we are switching the method by using video call speaking test. Okay, but it's totally the same. The quality, the time, etc. They are all similar with the previous method when we are delivering the face-to-face speaking test. And we have 2 test formats. They are IELTS on paper and computer. There are no differences from a couple point of view, such as the level of difficulty, and then the number of questions and how it's being marked, how it's being examined, and most of them are similar. Okay. So with the IELTS on computer, so we have more frequent sessions because if you are aware, during the paper IELTS on paper, we only have like 4 test sessions per month, which on Saturdays and 1 Thursday. But with IELTS on computer, so we can deliver the test basically every day and up to 3 sessions per day. Of course, it depends on the test venues. For example, we have set the test dates until August 2022 for Medan and other cities. Okay, and the IELTS on computer, the test results will be available much faster than the IELTS on paper, which will be available in 3 to 5 days. You can check the result online, and we will send the original test result form to your address or to the partners that we are working with. And of course, not just delivering a test, but we also have a wide range of preparation resources that been developed by the British Council team that are available in our website. Of course, the UNIMED team will share the link if you want to check them out and to see which one is suitable with you when you are preparing for the test. Okay, so from the module side, we have 2 types of tests. They are academic and general training. So for academic, it's quite clear that most universities, colleges, or some short courses providers ask the applicants to provide a test, an IELTS test result form, to make sure they are have reached the minimum standard of the English proficiency of that person. And definitely IELTS is used for students that are planning to go to undergraduate or postgraduate level, while for general training, mostly they are for immigration and also some work experience. Okay. One thing is, if you have a doubt about which test format or which test module that you need to take, please check with the receiving organizations on the type of test that they require. Okay, so basically from the differences, there are no main differences between IELTS academic and general training. They are all the same. Like listening, it will take about 20 minutes, and then for the reading, 60 minutes, and also for the writing. And for the speaking, you will need to have a video call speaking test with an examiner for 11 to 14 minutes. The only differences between the IELTS on paper and IELTS on computer is the transfer time. So on the IELTS on paper, you will have additional 10 minutes to transfer the answers from the question booklet to the answer sheet. But for the IELTS on computer, since you are answering directly on the computer, so there will be no more additional 10 minutes, but you will have time to check your answer for 2 minutes at the end of the listening test. Okay. IELTS is using a 9-band scale, so there will be a 0.5 between each score to determine of your English proficiency scale. So, and the test result valid for 2 years, and there are no passing or failing marks. So we really highly suggest that you answer all the questions, and then the universities or the organizations that you are applying, they already set us a minimum standard of score that is required to be able to join that institution. So it's not about pass or failing, but it's about how big is the score that you receive compared to the requirement by the institutions. Another thing is about the health and safety procedures that we are applying during the test day. So following the government policy that, and also our internal policy for the test takers. So test takers have to at least take the first dose of COVID-19 vaccinations. And you will be asked to show the Peduli Lindungi app on the test day. And for the test takers that haven't taken the vaccination for health reason or any other reasons, you will need to show an antigen test result that is taken maximum 14 hours before the test date. Okay. Besides that, we are applying the basic and hygiene and also health and safety procedures on the test day by setting, for example, like 1.5 meter distance, and then we will ask the test takers to use hand sanitizers and using face masks during the test, except for the photo taking. Even at the video call speaking, you will need to use the mask. Okay, and since we able to deliver the test up to 3 times per day, and mostly 2 times actually, we have 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. session. So between the sessions, for example, from a.m. to p.m., all the test venues will be cleaned by our team. Okay, now let's go to the IELTS in computer information. So I have here a video introductory video about the IELTS in computer. So let's go and watch it.
Welcome to our computer-delivered IELTS Tutorial 1. This tutorial will show you how to complete and prepare for computer-delivered IELTS. For each section, there's a clock at the top of the screen, which tells you how much time you have left. For the reading and writing tests, the clock will turn red and flash when you have 10 and 5 minutes left. The tests will automatically stop when the time finishes. The instructions for each part are in the box at the top of the screen. You can use the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to move from one question to the next. Click on the number to go to that question. You can also click on the forward arrow to go to the next question, or the back arrow to go to the previous question. When you have answered the question, a line will appear under that question in the navigation bar. You can click on Review if you want to look at the question again later. The question number will be shown as a circle. You can review and change your answers at any time until the end of the test. Click on the yellow arrow if you want to make the navigation bar smaller. You can use the scroll bar to see all the questions. In each of the tests, you can change the screen settings. To do this, click on the Settings tab at the top of the screen. You can change the size and color of the text. In each of the tests, there is a Help tab. If you click on the Help tab, this will give you information about the task you're currently doing. If you click on Test Help, you will see information about how the test works. If you wish, you can also highlight sections of the text.
I haven't seen the video there.
If you need to leave the test room for a few minutes, you can hide your screen by clicking on the Hide tab.
Apologize. I heard someone said that the video is not yet started.
It has started, Pak. It has
Starting? Oh, okay, okay.
It has already started, and I believe that we can clear enough.
Okay, okay.
Probably, Pak, you have some, the one who just unmute.
Yep. Okay, so I'll start from the middle then, okay?
You can use the scroll bar to see all the questions. In each of the tests, you can change the screen settings. To do this, click on the Settings tab at the top of the screen. You can change the size and color of the text. In each of the tests, there is a Help tab. If you click on the Help tab, this will give you information about the task you're currently doing. If you click on Test Help, you will see information about how the test works. If you wish, you can also highlight sections of the text. If you need to leave the test room for a few minutes, you can hide your screen by clicking on the Hide tab. When you return to the test room, click on the Resume Test button. That is the end of the introduction tutorial for computer-delivered IELTS. Check out the British Council IELTS YouTube channel for tutorial videos for listening, reading, and writing.
Okay, so what are the basic features in the IELTS on computer screen? First, there's a clock on the top of the screen, so it will show how many time left to do the test. The second one, is the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. So there you can jump from one question to another and check them out for as long as the time is still available. And the screen settings will help you to change the font size. Basically, there are 3 font sizes: small, medium, and large. And then you can change the color type that you have. There are 4 options. Depend on which one you are more better at to help you working the test, and also the resolution of the screen. The number 4 is you can use the hide tab when you are on the toilet break during the reading and the writing test. And do not worry about note papers, because as you know, you in the paper, you will get the scratch paper to do some notes, to do some writing. But do not feel worried, because on the IELTS on computer, they will also be provided. Okay, so let's go to the 8 skills of the IELTS test. We'll start with the listening one. The listening test will take about 30 minutes. Okay, for iPad, if you have any questions, please type in the chat box, and I will help to answer. Okay. So on the listening test, there are 4 sections, and there will be 1 mark per question. All sections will be played once only, same like the IELTS on paper. It does not mean if it's IELTS on computer, meaning that you can play the recording multiple times, but we are setting the standard similar as IELTS on paper, which the recordings played once only. Okay, so this is the text types on the listening test. Section 1, there will be social and transactional conversation. On the second section, there will be someone doing a monologue, and we will have conversation in educational context between two and 4 people. And on the section 4 will be a talk or a lecture. And you need to know that the level of difficulties will increase from section 1 until 4. Okay, even though that the mark is all similar. Okay, you have a question. When you hide the screen, when you are doing the hide screen, will the time still remain the same? No, the time will run according to the same time as the other test takers, because on the IELTS test, you will start together and you will end also together. Okay, and you do not allowed to leave the room before the test is ended on each section. Okay, not section, on its part. I mean the listening or reading or writing. Okay, let's watch the listening video now.
For the listening test, you can change the volume by using the volume bar in the top right at any time during the test. For each part of the listening test, you will hear the recording once only. Some parts of the test have more than one type of question. Each type of question has its own instructions. In the listening test, listen carefully for the part number and question numbers to make sure you are looking at the right screen. For some questions, you need to write your answer in the gap. For some questions, you need to choose which diagram label, A, B, C, etc., is correct for which item listed in the table. For each question, click on the correct space in the table. For some questions, you need to click on an answer and move it into the gap. If you want to change an answer, move another answer into the gap. If you want to leave the question unanswered, move the question back. And for some questions, you need to move an answer into a gap on a diagram. At the end of the listening test, you'll have 2 minutes to check all of your answers. The tests will automatically stop when the time finishes.
Okay, so what are the features in IELTS listening on the IELTS on the computer? First is a volume bar. I think you will find this very useful to adjust the level of volume to help you during the listening test. Number 2, there are some questions. So if you see, there are some type of questions. And Miss Ajiza, can you help me to share the computer delivered preparation link to the participants where they can try actually to see all of the question type samples there. Not that one, the other one, but Bu Ajiza. Okay, nice. Okay, so Adolfina has a question about in relation to IU-iPad's question, does it mean that the test is conducted at the test center? Yes. Yes. IELTS on computer test is delivered at an official IELTS test venue, which we are referring to the UPT Bahasa Unimed. So there will be test date selections that you can choose, and then you need to come on that time and date exactly. Okay. Okay, let's move on then. During the listening section, I mean on the IELTS test, actually basically you don't need to bring anything. You just need to bring your ID. Okay. Because we provide all the equipment such as headphones, and there will be time before the test starts for you to test the headset and adjust the volume on your screen. And our invigilators will gladly help if you have any issues with them. Okay. These are some important notices that will be useful during the test, like to listen and read the instructions, and then note the keywords. And then one thing that is important is there are no penalties for incorrect answers. So we highly suggest that you answer all the questions. And spelling counts. What does spelling means? Meaning if you need to use plural words, or maybe using other spelling related thing. Okay, so a key tip from us is synonyms, because IELTS love to use synonyms on their questions. Okay, now we have a sample of listening section. There will be 5 questions you can answer. I think it's time for you to prepare your pen and paper while we are going to listen to the recording, and then we'll see the answer. Okay, let's go.
Section 2. You will hear the education officer of a dinosaur museum giving information to some teachers who are planning a school visit. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello, and thank you for asking me to your teachers' meeting to talk about the Dinosaur Museum and to tell you a bit about what you can do with your students there. Well, let me give you some of the basic information first. In regard to opening hours, we're open every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. except on Mondays, when we close at 1:30 p.m. And in fact, the only day in the year when we're closed is on the 25th of December. You can book a guided tour for your school group any time that we're open. If you bring a school group to the museum, when you arrive, we ask you to remain with your group in the car park. One or more of the tour guides will welcome you there and brief you about what the tour will be about. We do this there because our entrance is quite small and we really haven't got much room for briefing groups in the exhibition area. As far as the amount of time you'll need goes, if you bring a school group, you should plan on allowing a minimum of 90 minutes for the visit. This allows 15 minutes to get on and off the coach, 45 minutes for the guided tour, and 30 minutes for after-tour activities. If you're going to have lunch at the museum, you will of course have to allow more time. There are 2 cafes in the museum with seating for 80 people. If you want to eat there, you'll need to reserve some seating, as they can get quite crowded at lunchtime. Then, outside the museum at the back, there are tables, and students can bring their own lunch and eat it there in the open air.
Okay. So anyone have tried to answer the questions? Please share your answers in the chat box. Like, for example, number 11 is, let's say 8 or 1:30, and then number 12 is on what day the museum is not open. Okay. If you want, you can share your answer in the chat box and we'll see if they are correct or not. No one? Okay, no problem. So let's check the answers then. Okay, so anyone correct all the answers correctly? Or feel free to share if you you are I'm missing one answer, or okay, for correct. Okay, Pak Jackson, you got for correct. That's nice. So basically that are the samples of the listening section. You see there are some tricky questions there that you need to think about before you are answering the question. Okay, let's go on then. So for listening practice, actually there are lots of resources available. You can practicing by watching television, watching movies, listening to English radios or lecturers or online videos. Let's go to the next part of the IELTS test, which is the reading test. For the reading test, the timing is 60 minutes. There will be 3 sections with 40 questions and 1 mark for each correct answer. Incorrect grammar and spelling will be penalized, definitely. And same like the all of the speaking, all of the IELTS test parts, there will be no failing marks. So we suggest that you answer all the questions. For the academic reading IELTS, the sections will use some sources such as our textbooks and journals, magazines, and newspapers, and they are all relevant to study. While for the general training, there will be some sources that are more on the daily life topics, such as advertisements, handouts, and also notice, and including newspapers. Okay, and it's all relevant to live in an English speaking countries. So let's watch the reading test video.
In the reading test, the text appears on the left and the questions on the right. To see all the text and the questions, you will need to use both scroll bars. For some questions, you need to choose an answer. If you want to change your answer, click on a new answer. If you want to leave a question unanswered, click on the answer again. To look at the next question, just click on the question itself. For some questions, you need to choose more than one answer. If you want to change any of your answers, click on the answer you want to change and then click on your new answer. If you want to leave any of the questions unanswered, click on the answer again. For some questions in the reading test, you need to choose which paragraph or section contains the information listed in the table. Remember to scroll to read all the text. For each question, click on the correct space in the table. If you want to change an answer, click on Your New Answer. If you want to leave the question unanswered, click on the answer again. For some questions in the reading test, you need to click on a heading for a paragraph or section and move it into the gap. If you want to change your answer, move another heading into the gap. If you want to leave the question unanswered, move the heading back. And for some questions, you need to write your answer on a gap in a diagram. If you wish, you can also highlight sections of the text. To do this, left-click and drag your cursor over the section of the text or question you wish to highlight. Then, right-click and select the highlight option. To remove highlighting from the text, right-click on the highlighted area and select Clear. If you wish to remove all highlighting from the screen, right-click on a highlighted area and select Clear All. You can also make notes on a section of text. To do this, left-click and drag the cursor over the section of text or question you want to make notes about. Then, right-click and select the Notes option. Your chosen section of text will be highlighted, and a yellow notepad will appear. You can write your notes on this. Click on the X in the notepad to hide your notes. To see your notes again, click on the highlighted section of the text. If you want to see which areas of highlighted text have notes, move the cursor slowly over each area of highlighted text. If a small orange box appears, it means that the highlighted text contains notes. To remove notes from text or questions, right-click on the highlighted area and select Clear.
Okay, so before we discuss about the features in the reading section, Adolfina has a question during the writing test. So, Adolfina, I will leave this question for to the next part, which we will discuss about the reading parts. Okay, let's continue to the reading section. So what are the basic features on the IELTS on computer reading test? So basically, there are two scroll bars on the screen, on the left one and the right one. The left one will be the passages, which will be the source to answer all of the questions available in the right part. Okay. And there are features of highlight and notes that you can use. I would say as a substitute when you are working on the IELTS on paper, where you can give an underline on the important sentences, so you can use the highlight and notes function here. So some tips to prepare for the reading test. Skimming and scanning will be important, of course, and then you need to pay attention to titles, subtitles, keywords, and topic sentences. Okay. Intensive reading to understand details of the whole paragraph or passages is also important to find the answer that you are looking for. One unique thing about the IELTS reading test is the true, false, or not given questions. Okay, you will be provided with short passages, and you will be given several statements, and you need to answer if those statements are true, false, or not given. And one thing to remember is there will be a not given answer on one of the sentences provided. Okay, so this is the simple passages I would like for you to ask to check, and then please answer question number 1 to 3, which one is false, true, and not given. Okay, I will give you 1 minute from now. Okay, so have you got your answers? Please type them in the chat box. Which one is true, which one is false, and which one is not given. Okay, Surya said number 1 true. And what about number 2, Surya? 2 false. Number 3? Okay, not given. Anyone have other or different answers? Then Surya and Mona Lisa. Okay. Saidina said number 2 is not given and number 3 is true. Okay, so let's check the correct answers. Number 1 is true. Number 2 is false. And number 3 is not given. Please remember to find a not given answer between the statements provided. Usually there will be 5 to 6 questions of this type of the true, false, and not given. Okay. Okay, so these are the reading tips to remember. Check your spelling, definitely. And follow your instruction carefully. For example, if you are asked to write not more than 2 words or not more than 3 words, then don't do that. If you write more than the requested number of words, you will be marked as wrong. Okay. Okay, additional reading tips to remember. Don't spend too long on one passage or question, and don't try to read every word. So basically you are looking for an answer, okay? And don't worry if there's a word that you don't understand. It might be, you might not need them, okay? Okay, try to do a quick read and then try to read more variety of topics just to strengthen your reading skills. So let's go to the third part of the IELTS on computer, which is the writing part, which is, I think, is the most challenging part. I will try to answer the question from Adovina after we see the video and check some details about the writing test. Okay, so there will be two tasks, task 1 and task 2. On task 1, you will need to describe information from a diagram or from a map, from a process or set of data, and on academic and for general training. You will need to write a letter. It might be a formal or informal letter. You will need to write at least 150 words, and we recommend you finish it by 20 minutes. On task 2, you need to write an essay in the form of argument, discussion, or report on a topic with 250 words minimum. And we recommend 40 minutes to answer. And you can choose to answer either from task 1 to task 2 or task 2 first. It's up to you as long as the time is still available. Okay. This is the assessment criteria. And then they will be marked average to get your writing score. Let's watch the writing video then.
There are two parts to the writing test. Part 1 and Part 2. You can answer the parts in either order. You write your answer in the space on the right of the screen. Your answers are saved automatically. You do not need to press Enter on your keyboard. For the reading and writing tests, the clock will turn red and flash when you have 10 and 5 minutes left.
Okay, simple but important, okay? So what are the basic features of the IELTS on computer writing test? Number 1, it will be, you can answer the question in either order. It means that you can answer the task 2 first if you want. And then the answers are saved automatically. So you don't need to look for the submit button or save button, because every changes that you do during the test, it will be updated automatically. And this is the question from Adolfina. You're asking about the spelling check. So there will be no grammar or spelling checks available, definitely. This is a test. So the test goal is to find out your English skill. Either is it in writing or in the reading or in the listening part. Okay, so there will be no spelling checks. But one thing that is important is there will be a word count function. It means you don't need to guess how many words you have written. Okay, on the bottom left, you will see a word count feature there to see how many words that you have written. And we also have a copy and paste, erase or undo button that you can to help to maximize your writing result. It means if you want to switch sentences, switch paragraph, or even you want to erase a paragraph, you can do it easily. Because I think this is one of the big important thing in the IELTS on computer. Okay, Mona Lisa, you asked there will be online feedback. No, basically no. The test is totally the same between IELTS on paper and IELTS computer, where we never give feedbacks to the test takers. If you are taking a course, maybe, of course, the teachers will give you the feedback, but not for a test. Okay. Some tips for the academic writing. So you need to read the question carefully, analyze the task, and then spend time to understand the information in the graphic or in the map or in the set of data, and then provide an overview. Okay. On task 2, you have to read the question carefully and answer it. Okay, you need to check if it's a discussion essay or opinion or both. And when you are asked to write your opinion, make sure you provide it because it will affect the score. Okay. Okay, so these are the other tips on the task 2. Always check your work for mistakes before you you finalize your answers. Okay. Let's go to the last part of the IELTS test, which is the speaking test. So the timing is in between 11 to 14 minutes. For those that joining late, in the beginning, I mentioned that we have switched the face-to-face interview to a video call with the live examiner. Okay, so in the test venue, we will provide a room for a test taker to go and to have this video call test one-to-one. All of the type of question, level of difficulties, number of questions, they are all the same between the face-to-face and also the video call, and also between the IELTS on paper and IELTS on computer. And they will be all recorded. These are the 4 assessment criteria, and then there will be average to get your speaking test score. On the part 1, it's about introduction and interview. So examiner will ask about a familiar topics such as your education background or maybe working experience. And part 2, you will be asked to do a monologue for 1 to 2 minutes. And in the part 3, the examiner will have a discussion about topics, okay, about some topics. The examiner is looking for this thing during the speaking test. First is how you can communicate your opinions on information on everyday topics. And then on the task 2, you will speak at 1 to 2 minutes. And in the part 3, the examiner wants to see how you express and justify your opinions. Okay. So this is a sample on how to answer a question during speaking test using the topic of television. You can try to share how often you watch television, and then if you do, why, and if you rarely watch television, why not, and then the other things such as do you enjoy the advertisement, and also how about the quality of television programs, and of course the reason behind that. Okay, some tips. So this is a sample of free app available online, Vocaro. So with Vocaro, you can try to do a monologue here, and then you can save it, and then you can replay it. So you can hear about how good your speaking is. And also, if necessary, you can share it directly with your friends or colleagues or teachers or anyone that you think that will provide a response, okay, on how to improve your speaking skill. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts during the speaking tips? For the do's, try to relax, speak clearly, and then be prepared to talk about yourself and your life experience. And also, please give opinions on the topics that are being asked by the examiner, and try to answer the questions as fully as you can. I know it's going to be a nervous situation during the test. That's why it's called test. But please, this is important to answer your question as fully as you can. Do not stop in the middle of a conversation without finishing what you have been started, okay? And what are the don'ts? One, don't talk too fast or too slowly, and then never use your first language because it will not be marked, and it might be and definitely will impact your score, the whole sentences that you are speaking. And don't worry about making occasional mistakes. One thing is, don't ever prepare speeches and reproduce memorized answers. Why? Number one, because our examiner will definitely know if you prepare speeches. Number two, the topics, it might be most likely not as same as that you are expecting, okay? So these notes, don'ts are important. And don't worry about occasional hesitations, because the examiner might interrupt you, because the examiner wants to dig in more answers from you. Okay. In the beginning, I also mentioned about the preparation materials that being provided by the British Council. So we have Road to IELTS. Road to IELTS is an app, online app, also available in the web app for you to prepare for the IELTS test for free. And it only lasts until your test day. So for those that are registering for a longer period, like let's say maybe 1 or 2 months before the test date, you can use the last minute version of Road to IELTS to get more additional preparation resource. We also have IELTS online preparation course available online, and we have IELTS prep app that you can download actually. Another thing that I want to highlight is you might see the videos and also some sample questions that you are still have doubt to answer. So Ibu Ajizah, can you please help me to reshare again the computer delivered sample test link for the participants so they can use it later? Okay, so the second one, the computer delivered one, is the content is the videos that we have been watching about the video introductory of the IELTS on computer, and also for the listening, reading, and writing part. And while for the top one, it's the general preparation resources that you can choose actually which one is suitable for you when preparing a test. Okay, now we also have a familiarization test. So this is totally free, and it's available online. Also in the ieltsasia.org/prepare. Just click on the FAM test section, it will be, it's not mock-up test, it's more a FAM test. Why I said it's not mock-up? Because you will get a listening and reading percentage score sent to your email after you finish the FAM test. Okay, and I think Ibu Isli or the Unimed team will have something to share during the Q&A about the open house they are planning to do. Okay, so this is what I mentioned before on the link that the computer delivered one. You can watch the videos and also the sample of the each part of the test, like listening multiple, listening one answer, and then how to drag and drop the answers, etc. Okay. So we also have a special offer for IELTS registration in Medan. So if you're registering for an IELTS test and you insert this specific promo code during the online registration, you will get a 50,000 shopping voucher from us. And if you want to go to Unimed to do the FAM test in the real location of IELTS test, they have a schedule that will be shared later for you. So you can do the FAM test and then you can register there directly with the Unimed team. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. So if you have any question, either it's for me or for the Unimed team, feel free to type in the chat box.
Thank you, Pak Arya, for such a fruitful presentation. I think we have already heard so many beneficial information related to the IELTS test on computer. To respond to what you just say, Pak, I think I'd love to share information about the open house for the FAM test at our testing point. To all participants, please register yourself to get an experience, the real experience of IELTS on computer in our open house. So you will be, you will get the familiarization test at our testing point. I think Ibu Ajijah can also share the barcode. Bu Ajijah, can you please share the PPT? So if you need further info on when and how to register in our open house to get the experience of IELTS test on computer, please you can contact us and we will distribute the link for you to register to join our open house. And for your information, the open house will be conducted on the first week every month on Thursday. Sorry, Friday, I mean. So every Friday, we will conduct the open house for all participants who have registered to get the experiences in conducting the IELTS test on computer at our testing point. I think that's what I could say, Pak Arya, and probably we have questions, no? Not yet.
Yes, everyone, if you have any questions, I think this is the right time to get information from either is from us, from the British Council Indonesia Foundation, or from Unimed as official IELTS testing point and also IELTS registration center in Medan.
If I'm not mistaken, we still also, I mean, we can also have other model ya Pak ya, general training model to be conducted at our testing point, right Pak? So it is not only for academic model.
Yes, Ibu, I think if there's a necessity or any request from the test taker, we can arrange that to be added in one of the sessions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think there was one question asked to us like 2 days ago. She had already conducted the test at our testing point, but I believe that she did forget to link to the university to in her registration stage. She forget to us to send the result of the test IELTS. Can you please explain a bit about that part? So for those who took the IELTS on computer academic training, academic model, sometimes we can directly send the result to the institution we are heading to.
Yep.
And how to do that? And if
yeah,
we get to do it in the registration process,
yep.
What can we do?
So basically, if you forgot to send so basically the basic feature is we can send the electronic TRF to our recognizing organizations. As long as they are registered under our start list, is under the organization that being listed in our list, so we can send them for free. But if you forgot, actually you can send an inquiry to our customer services team, exams with S, Echo X-ray Mama Alpha Sierra at britishcouncil.or.id to request to send your electronic TRF to the university. We will be able to help that as long as they are in our list, the university.
So for those who have taken the IELTS on computer at our testing point last week, you still can send your result, your IELTS result, to the institution by sending an email to the referred email, ya Pak ya?
Yeah, to the customer services team.
Yeah, Pak Arya, can
you
share the email?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the test takers will get emails from our customer services team.
Oh, okay.
Yes, when they are registering for an IELTS test. But I will rewrite again on the chat.
Thank you, Pak Arya.
Yep. So that's our customer services email address. If you have any inquiries, if you have any questions, feel free to check with them. We would love to help. Okay. Anyone have any questions or any comments and sharing you want? So because I think we still have time.
Ya, jadi mungkin bisa mix ya Pak ya.
Silakan, mau berbahasa Indonesia pun silakan.
Ya, nanti jika ada calon test takers, candidates yang ingin mendaftarkan diri di open house di testing point kami, UPT Bahasa, bisa langsung menghubungi kami di mungkin Ibu Ajija juga bisa bantu share di chat box, Bu Ajija. Silakan hubungi nomor kontak tersebut agar bisa mengalami pengalaman ya seperti yang Pak Arya tadi sampaikan, membiasakan memfamiliarisasi diri kita terhadap tes IELTS on computer itu, karena memang walaupun bisa dilakukan di web ya Pak ya, tapi kalau langsung di testing point-nya kayaknya lebih dapat ya Pak, lebih confident. Jadi kita mengadakan open house ini juga supaya peserta lebih percaya diri, lebih nyaman, lebih tidak nervous, mengurangi nervous pastinya ya Pak ya, karena saya yakin
banget Bu.
Kalau ikut IELTS kan pastinya bayar mahal, pastinya sebenarnya harusnya sudah ready ya Pak ya, tapi tetap aja nervousnya ada. Jadi mungkin dengan adanya open house ini, teman-teman yang akan mendaftar ini lebih nyaman dan mengurangi rasa gugup itu.
Iya. Mungkin juga kalau ada teman-teman yang memang mewakili institusinya ya, misalnya sekolah atau universitas yang hadir di hari ini, kemudian memang ada group registration gitu ya, bisa menghubungi ke Ibu Aziza, Ibu Pak Zul atau ke Unimed langsung untuk bisa diaturkan ya Bu. Sebenarnya untuk group registration itu kita bisa set jadwalnya di luar jadwal reguler yang sudah disediakan. Jadi kalau ada kebutuhan dari institusi Bapak dan Ibu, itu we are very open to cater that request actually, gitu, untuk bisa melayani permintaan tersebut gitu. Tentunya dengan beberapa persyaratan seperti minimal peserta dan juga tanggalnya nanti sudah kami sesuaikan dengan tanggal yang available gitu.
Ada pertanyaan satu dari Iga di chatbox.
Yap. Oke, dari Iga Ariska untuk 3 to 5 days itu hasilnya itu yang tersedia online. Jadi di registration account kamu untuk IELTS itu nanti setelah kamu tes akan ada menu di mana kamu bisa melihat IELTS score kamu dalam waktu 3-5 hari gitu. Nah, nanti setelah itu kami akan mengirimkan tes result form fisiknya ke alamat yang kamu daftarkan. Gitu. Ke rumah ataupun misalnya kamu daftar lewat salah satu agent atau lewat Unimed dan permintaannya dikirim ke agent tersebut, itu juga bisa dilakukan.
Mungkin kalau pertanyaan lanjutannya, kira-kira Pak kalau ada yang sedang dikejar due date ini deadline, kira-kira sepengetahuan Pak Arya beberapa institusi menerima nggak Pak ya hasil online?
Oke, siap. Jadi itu tergantung universitas sebenarnya Bu. Nah kami itu sudah memiliki yang namanya start list, STERD list. Nah list-list yang ada di situ itu hampir semuanya sudah menerima elektronik TRF Bu. Jadi yang sudah, makanya tadi saya informasikan untuk teman-teman yang minggu lalu yang lupa memasukkan nama organisasinya atau meminta, itu silakan cek aja ke website kami, ada RO-nya, ada RO list-nya, receiving organization yang menerima skor IELTS dan memang sudah mendaftarkan institusinya ke kami. Nah itu nanti bisa dikirimkan langsung elektronik TRF ya.
Artinya IELTS on komputer ini saya yakin bagi yang sedang dikejar
deadline ya.
Ini di satu-satunya Pak.
Iya.
Kalau paper based kan will take you like 3 weeks ya Pak ya?
2 weeks actually.
2 weeks ya.
13 days ya, 13 days.
Ya, 13 days.
Ya, tapi dengan pengiriman ya mungkin bisa sampai maksimal 3 minggu.
Another questions in the chat box?
Siap. What's the differences between computer and paper based? Tadi sebenarnya yang sudah saya jelaskan adalah sedikit banyak perbedaannya. Yang pasti kalau dari harga itu sama, dari waktu itu sama, bahkan tingkat kesulitan, jenis pertanyaan itu semua sama. Itu hanya dipindahkan dari IELTS on paper ke komputer. Perbedaan terbesarnya adalah di fitur-fitur yang mengikuti tes format masing-masing. Misalnya kayak di listening test itu tidak ada tambahan 10 menit untuk memindahkan jawaban dari question booklet ke answer sheet. Kenapa? Karena pada dasarnya kamu sudah mengetik semua jawabannya di layar menggunakan keyboard. Cuma akan ada tambahan 2 menit nih di akhir bagian listening test untuk kamu memeriksa kembali jawaban kamu. Yang kedua, untuk di writing test. Di writing test itu ada fitur cut and paste, kemudian ada erase dan undo yang bisa digunakan. Dan juga ada fitur word count. Jadi kamu tidak perlu lagi untuk menghitung jumlah kata yang sudah kamu tulis. Karena sudah ada word count-nya. Yang kedua, untuk memindahkan atau mengubah urutan paragraf, urutan kalimat, yang sering kita lakukan nih pada saat writing test ya, itu bisa dilakukan menggunakan fitur si cut and paste tadi, atau copy and paste. Gitu.
Untuk menambahkan mungkin Pak, mungkin ada yang tadi miss ketika Bapak paparan, ketika listening, kita kan biasanya kalau paper diberi waktu yang biasanya disebut transfer time 1,5 menit. Kalau di komputer test, itu bagaimana Pak?
Itu 10 menit, Bu, yang transfer time itu. Ya, itu yang tadi saya jelaskan. Jadi, di listening test, di akhir listening test, itu test taker dikasih waktu 10 menit untuk memindahkan jawaban.
Lebih
Gitu.
banyak berarti Pak ya?
Ya, tapi kalau di IELTS on computer tidak ada, karena kan jawabannya sudah ditulis langsung di bagian di kolom tempat mengisi jawaban. Tapi seperti saya info, itu di akhir listening test ada 2 menit untuk memeriksa kembali jawabannya. Dan sebenarnya ada 30 detik di masing-masing sela-sela antara section 1 ke section 2, section 2 ke 3, dan 3 ke 4, itu 30 detik untuk memeriksa jawaban kalian. Dan jika kalian memang sudah masuk ke section berikutnya, itu kalian bisa memeriksa kembali ke section sebelumnya kalau memang diperlukan. Itu masih bisa dilihat dan bisa diubah jawabannya kalau memang kalian masih ragu misalnya.
Sip. Jadi untuk informasi juga Pak Arya bahwa setiap peserta nanti tidak diperkenankan membawa stationery apapun ya Pak ya. Jadi mereka membawa ID card yang digunakan saat mendaftar, dan nanti testing point itu yang akan menyediakan kertas untuk writing test itu biasanya digunakan di desk label ya Pak ya. Bisa dicoret-coret desk label yang diletakkan di sisi kanan atau kiri komputer peserta. Jadi kertas itu nanti selain ada label komputer, jadi di baliknya itu kan kosong, jadi peserta bisa katakanlah mencoret-coret untuk kebutuhan listening-nya.
Ya,
benar. Dan pensil, peralatan tulis, alat tulis semuanya tidak diperkenankan dibawa ke ruangan komputer test, hanya ID card. Artinya kami yang akan menyediakan segala kebutuhan stationery peserta, ya Pak ya.
Ya. Satu catatan penting juga nih untuk tentang ID card ya. Jadi tolong dibawa ID card yang memang kalian pakai untuk daftar. Misalnya kalian daftar pakai paspor, berarti bawa paspornya. Kalian bawa daftar pakai KTP, bawa KTP-nya, jangan sebaliknya. Kalau kalian memang belum menginformasikan kepada tim customer service kami di hari-hari sebelumnya, ada kemungkinan kalian tidak akan bisa mengikuti tes kalau tidak membawa ID yang sebenarnya. Jadi ini cukup penting, dan sepertinya sampai saat ini juga kadang-kadang masih muncul permasalahan seperti ini. Karena kan apalagi kalau terkait studi luar negeri ya, paspornya lagi dipinjam buat daftar visa, atau lagi untuk di imigrasi atau di mana. Nah, itu yang harus diperhatikan sih. Jangan sampai ID kalian itu tidak ada di hari H. ID yang saya maksud adalah ID yang kalian gunakan untuk daftar.
Benar Pak. Kemudian ini juga Pak, buat yang nyaman minum saat ujian, boleh ya Pak ya bawa water bottle tapi yang clear ya Pak ya? Yang
transparan.
Transparan.
Ya, transparan. Jadi dibawa aja. Ya, air botol mineral juga kalau dirobek labelnya kan juga jadi transparan, itu juga bisa dibawa, silakan.
Apalagi ya?
Enggak punya itu ya, botol minum yang transparan di rumah.
Dan mungkin kalau peserta tadi ada yang kurang ini untuk speaking, seperti kita zooman gini ya Pak ya, cuma ya face-to-face.
Betul.
2 orang.
Satu lawan satu saja, tidak satu dengan banyak orang. Jadinya dan komponen tesnya tingkat kesulitannya semua sama persis dengan pada saat face-to-face. Hanya saja tidak bertemu langsung dengan examinernya di depan mata.
Oke. Ada satu pertanyaan lagi. Oh, ini tentang ini.
Recordingnya, ya. Nanti silakan aja Ibu Istri dan tim kalau memang berkenan masukkan ke sosial media UPT Bahasa. Kalau punya channel YouTube juga mungkin bisa upload ke situ dan di-share nanti linknya ke teman-teman peserta hari ini.
Baik, iya, bisa kita lakukan.
Oke, dari Erina. Saat ini kami hanya bekerja sama di IELTS on komputer saja dengan Unimed, Erina, dan jadwalnya sudah tersedia hingga bulan Agustus 2022.
Thank you. Ada nggak ya, Pak?
Oke, satu kesempatan terakhir. Kalau masih ada pertanyaan, silakan sebelum kita akhiri sesi ini.
Ada yang khawatir ini, Pak.
Kenapa, Bu? Khawatir apa, Bu?
Saya takut nggak dapat skor 4,5.
Oke.
Ada yang curhat, Pak Arya, silakan.
Oh, nah itu adalah tantangannya ya. Jadi kalau udah masuk ke tahap ini sebenarnya saya juga bingung jawabnya sih, Bu. Tapi ya gini ya, yang penting percaya diri dan latihan sih kalau gitu. Yang penting latihan, karena yang pertama British Council sudah menyediakan resources yang kebanyakan gratis, akan dipakai. Kalau mau kursus IELTS, persiapan IELTS sudah banyak. Unimed juga ada nggak, Bu?
Kursus IELTS ada, cuma memang saat ini karena yang datang itu masih perseorangan, jadi kita belum buka kelas, Pak. Kita sih tetap melis. Jumlah sudah cukupi.
Silakan tuh langsung tuh, nanti latihannya bisa langsung di ruangan tes ya. Mudah-mudahan kalau lagi kosong tuh, untuk pakai form tesnya ya, Bu ya, nanti ya sekalian tuh dengan official testing point-nya British Council nih. Gitu. Nah, kalau daftar online, semuanya sebenarnya daftar online, tapi perbedaannya adalah kalau dirimu daftar lewat Unimed langsung ya nggak ada masalah dari kami gitu. Karena pada dasarnya pada saat daftar online kalian akan memilih tes venue-nya mau di mana gitu. Misalnya di Medan ya sudah pasti di Unimed karena memang lokasi tes IELTS on komputernya di Unimed. Gitu. Kalau di Surabaya juga ya di tempat lain, di Jogja tempat lain seperti itu.
Jadi mungkin I like to mention Pak Ahmad mungkin ya, Kak Ahmad, supaya nggak takut, nggak nervous Pak, minggu depan ujiannya saya undang untuk main-main ke kantor Pak biar lebih nyaman. Kita familiarisasi Pak lokasi tes, tempat tes sehingga nanti nggak gugup lagi. Silakan hadir Pak sebelum hari ujian. Ada yang DM Pak.
Oke, siap. Iya, yang penting yakin aja sih sama latihan. Gitu, perbanyak aja. Karena kalau saya sih yakin ya, IELTS ini itu bukan sekedar menguji kemampuan teoritis bahasa Inggris seseorang. IELTS ini sudah didesain sedemikian rupa sehingga skornya itu memang bisa mencerminkan kemampuan bahasa Inggris seseorang yang aslinya, bukan sekedar menguji grammar atau vocabulary aja, tapi itu secara keseluruhan, secara makro. Itu adalah satu hal yang bisa saya merasa cukup kagum dengan IELTS adalah di situ. Karena saya waktu pertama kali tes IELTS saja memang dulu ya pertama kali itu tanpa belajar sama sekali dan merasa oke, ternyata pada saat ada penjelasan skor sekian itu adalah kemampuan di level ini, ternyata benar gitu. Dan setelah kemampuan Bapak dan Ibu sudah berkembang dan Bapak dan Ibu mencoba tes IELTS lagi, nah itu kalau skornya naik berarti memang kemampuan bahasa Inggris Ibu itu berkembang secara keseluruhan gitu, bukan sekedar teoritis saja. Oke, Bu Erina ada minta nomor kontak tuh Bu, nomor WA, mungkin bisa di-share WA-nya UPT Bahasa Unimed ya Bu nanti ya Bu. Atau email kali ya. Masih mute Bu?
Ibu Ajija mungkin bisa share link, Bu. Ibu Erina sepertinya butuh nomor kontak. Bisa langsung ke link tree ini, Bu, atau Bu Ajija bisa share nomor kontak Bu Ajija. Bisa dihubungi di jam dan di hari dan jam kerja ya, Bu. Pak. Silakan dihubungi, Bu. Terima kasih, Bu Erina. Lagi ya. Masih ada pertanyaan kira-kira ini, Pak?
Silakan.
Mungkin pertanyaan yang cukup umum kami alami sih, Pak. Terakhir mungkin ini. Seringnya peserta itu daftar ujiannya mepet banget sama waktu ujian, Pak. Mungkin perlu diinfo kali supaya teman-teman di ruang virtual kita ini bisa share juga. Kapan sih, Pak, terakhir bisa mendaftar sebelum hari tes yang kita pilih itu gitu?
Iya, jadi tes itu, pendaftaran tes itu ditutup 6 hari sebelum tanggalnya ya. Misalnya buat terdekat tanggal 26 ya, Bu.
Iya.
Hari ini ditutup sebenarnya, besok ditutup. Tanggal 20 itu ditutup. Nah, saya sih tetap menyarankan ke teman-teman untuk daftar sedikit lebih kasih waktu ya. Bukan apa-apa, jadi pertama kalian bisa mempersiapkan diri untuk tesnya. Yang kedua adalah, tadi saya info mengenai Road to IELTS. Si Road to IELTS itu beneran bagus loh, beneran bagus. Jadi si last minute version itu diberikan untuk teman-teman yang jadi ada tambahan variety of the additional sample questions lah ya. Jadi untuk prepare teman-teman, karena si Road to IELTS itu setelah tanggal tes kalian itu udah nggak bisa diakses. Itu disetting untuk menyesuaikan dengan tanggal tes kalian expirednya. Jadi kalau let's say kalian daftar 3 minggu sebelumnya, kalian bisa prepare online menggunakan materi-materi organik yang ada di mana-mana yang free, bisa ke website British Council, dan kemudian dapat Road to IELTS itu. Gitu.
Yang pasti jangan lupa juga keasikan waktu IELTS, tapi lupa mendaftar karena pendaftaran itu H-6 sebelum hari ujian gitu ya. Jadi kalau seperti bulan ini kita punya tanggal di tanggal 26 Maret, maka terakhir mendaftar online itu adalah di tanggal 20.
Iya, masih ada seat ya, Bu, tersedia ya, Bu, untuk tanggal 26, Bu?
Masih, Pak.
Iya, silakan untuk teman-teman mungkin yang memang sudah mepet sekali waktunya, masih tersedia untuk minggu depan.
Rasa cukup sekian ya, Pak. Tidak ada
pertanyaan
lagi.
Oke, mungkin sebelum ditutup oleh Bu Isli, saya ucapkan terima kasih untuk teman-teman yang masih stay sampai akhir acara ini. Mohon maaf jika memang masih ada kekurangan, masih ada kesalahan kata dari saya. On behalf of British Council Indonesia Foundation Exams Team, buat teman-teman yang memang sudah daftar tes IELTS dan akan daftar, I wish you good luck on the test. I hope you will get the score that you need to wherever you want it to use it actually. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Pak Arya. Thank you. Jadi dari saya mungkin sebagai penutup, teman-teman yang ada di ruang virtual, terutama terima kasih banyak masih setia bersama kami di akhir acara ini. Mudah-mudahan semua yang disampaikan oleh Pak Arya tadi bermanfaat dalam mempersiapkan kita untuk ujian IELTS on komputer di testing point kami. Untuk info lanjut yang mungkin teman-teman butuhkan, bisa langsung ke kontak yang sudah dikirim via chat box, atau silahkan ketik saja UPT Bahasa Unimed, maka biasanya langsung tersedia nomor kontak yang bisa dihubungi. Secara khusus saya juga ingin menyampaikan terima kasih kepada British Council Indonesia, khususnya tim examinations, Ibu Farida, Pak Arya, dan tim yang cukup banyak membantu dan mendukung kami dalam perkembangan di UPT Bahasa. Sekali lagi teman-teman terima kasih, mudah-mudahan bagi yang ingin tes nanti bisa mendapatkan hasil yang maksimal dan mencapai keinginannya. Saya rasa sekian dari saya dan terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih semua, stay safe.
Terima kasih Bapak
Nice
Ibu.
weekend.
Iya, bye-bye. Thank you Bu Farida. Goodbye all. Ya, terima kasih. Bu Ajiza, I think we can close the meeting. Thank you. Stay safe and sound. Bye.